Parliament, 3 new taxes. I'm sure even sitting in the studio, you are catching some breath. It's good to have you. Good morning, Abena Osei Asare. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And
Yeah.
good morning to your listeners as well.
How busy has it been for you at the ministry in the past maybe 6 months?
Um, Let me use this opportunity to thank Ghanaians because Ghanaians have also been busy. They've been following us through, asking questions and making sure we take the best decision that endures to the benefits of, the citizens. So I want to thank Ghanaians. They've been busy with us and they've seen us through it all. Yes, we have been busy, but the most important thing is that what we set out to do, we have been able to achieve it. And we thank the leadership of the Minister, Honorable Ken Oforiatta, and management of the Ministry of Finance. And also we want to thank the leadership role that the President played because we all know that the IMF is a lender of last resort. No country predicts a crisis. But when there's a crisis, you have to take the decision that best endures to the benefit of all citizens, not just your personal decision. And so this is a decision that the president weighed very well and took because they feel that this is what currently the decision we can take that will endure to the benefit of all citizens and help us with the PCPEG, which we call the COVID-19 Economic Recovery Program, that this IMF is anchored on. We ourselves came up with this, knowing the situation in which we find ourselves, and then we wanting to get out of it and stabilize the economy and cause some transformation in the way we do our things.
So how critical is this IMF deal in the broad scheme of government's economic strategy?
Remember, government realized somewhere in 2022, we all saw what was happening. Just when we thought the COVID-19 was over and we were recovering, and then the Russia and Ukraine also, hit us. But prior to that, we noticed that, yes, our debt levels had gone up, and because we had to go in for some substantial amount of money to help us fund and address the COVID-19 situation.
Okay.
And so in that 2022 budget, you saw government indicating that it wants to embark on fiscal consolidation, reduce its debt levels to make sure we bring it to a sustainable level. And in 2023, based on all the happenings in 2022, government came up with the COVID-19 PCPEG program. And in this program, the blueprint is this: one, to restore macroeconomic stability, to bring fiscal operations and public debt to a sustainable level, to support the structural reforms we all have been talking about, and finally, to make sure that nobody is left behind. So to promote strong and inclusive growth and protect the poor and vulnerable as well. So this is what the IMF program that we agreed with is based on. And this is the PCPEG program.
So this is the post-COVID program for economic growth.
Yes.
And so this one that has been agreed is like the second level, the ECF.
Yes.
So it's like a follow-up to the PCPEG program.
This is what we set out to do.
Okay.
And then we needed the support.
Oh, so the PCPEG is your program?
It is our program.
Okay. Okay, I get it. So yes, the PCPEG is your program.
It's our program. And this is what we set out with the IMF to help us achieve our PCPEG program.
So this PCPEG, is the document available for us to read what the details are?
It is available. It's even in the 2023 budget.
Okay.
And in there, let me just give you the highlights of this program. One, to aggressively mobilize domestic revenue. You see us encouraging compliance and using administrative measures to increase the collection of taxes as well as digitization in that area to make sure we reduce human influence. And also, we want to streamline, or we have begun streamlining and rationalizing our expenditures, and to cut down on expenditure and make sure that what we have, we only spend what we have. We also, as part of the PCPEG, want to boost local production capacity. And with our 1D, 1F, our planting for food and jobs, that is what we want to do to reduce our dependence on imports. Because part of the deterioration of the economy was as a result of we not making forex available to our importers to import goods. And so if we are able to address this situation, our dependence on forex for imports will also come down. as part of the PCPEG, we are also looking at expanding digital and climate-responsive fiscal infrastructure. And finally, we want to protect the poor and the vulnerable and implement the structural reforms that we need in our public financial management. And for that, we cannot do all these things without the support of citizens. So even though the IMF, it's been approved and we've gone through the program, and we're going to receive $3 billion over the next 3 years. Every year, half a year or twice in a year, there will be a review. And there are certain benchmarks that we have set for ourselves that we need to achieve before these monies come in. So that is why I keep on saying that we cannot do it alone. We need the support of citizens to make sure we fall in line and be able to meet the targets that we ourselves have agreed with the IMF to make sure that we turn the economy around and be able to achieve the PCPEG, which we know will transform the economy.
What I know is that usually when a government has a plan like the PCPEG and they submit it or they sort of present it, there's a discussion with their development partners, and in this case, the IMF. So the PCPEG you submitted, was it approved in its entirety? Or because I believe that there will be some agreed areas of reform that both sides will come to, which then will sort of give the people the impetus that they will give us the money. So what I wanted to find out was that what are the main expectations of the IMF from us between now and November? Because as you said, the review will be in phases. So the money comes this week, then November there's review. Second tranche comes 6 months, there's review. So can we know some of the key things they will expect us to do, or we are committing to do, let me use that word, between now and November, so that the next tranche will also come?
The first is restoring macroeconomic stability. And that one comes when we look at our fiscal measures. How much revenue are we raising to support the budget that we are implementing? What is it that we can do to make sure we mobilize or maximize domestic revenue? So as part of the PCPEG, certain targets have been set for us to mobilize the needed revenue. These targets, you saw us going to Parliament in the 2023 budget to come up with new tax handles and also to encourage compliance and use administrative measures to increase our revenues. So under our revenue measures or under restoring macroeconomic stability, these are the things that we need to do. We need to increase our revenue. We need to also look at our expenditures. What is it that we are duplicating? What is it that we can postpone for now and make sure we create the space for other equally important things? So that is the first thing. And then the second thing that we are hoping to achieve and that we have set targets for ourselves under this IMF program is our debt levels. Bringing our debt levels to a sustainable level. And one, we had to embark on the domestic debt exchange program. That was part of the targets that we had agreed with the IMF that, yes, I want to give you money, but you need to also tell me how you are managing your debt levels to bring it to a sustainable level so that you can get some space to do other equally important things. So
the country. DDE was one of the...
we did the domestic one. And hopefully the external one, you heard that on Monday, our bilateral partners as well as China co-chaired a credit committee, which they are also going to come out with some level of support in that area and make sure that together we work to bring the debt levels down. So that is also a very important part of the IMF program. The next is supporting our structural reforms. Structural reforms in the area of bringing some efficiency in the way we manage government finances. One, we are looking at the statutory funds. We set up these statutory funds for a purpose. So we are reviewing them, one, to see whether it is still fit for purpose. Two, whether it is giving us the relevance or we are realizing the objective for which we set it up now. And then two, making sure we bring all the statutory funds onto the Ghana government financial management system. Prior to that, we didn't have them on the GIFME system. And so GACF, Get Fund, NHI, all these statutory funds are now being brought as part of the arrangements to bring about some efficiency and accountability as well. And then the last is also making sure that we promote strong and inclusive growth and protect the poor and vulnerable. Bernard, we all know that with the COVID and the Russian-Ukraine war, people were hit differently. And this has increased the poverty gap. And so it is not just an IMF program to restore macroeconomic stability, but also to make sure nobody is left behind. So as part of this particular IMF program, inclusive growth and supporting the poor and vulnerable plays a very important role, where they have identified certain social spendings that they expect us to fund properly to make sure that nobody is left behind.
Right. So you've mentioned a number of things. The DDE, which has largely been done, domestic debt exchange. You talked about taxes. 3 new taxes were introduced, which took effect from 1st of May. And then you spoke about structural reform. There's a feeling that a lot of the pain is being taken by us, because the DDE, it is really our money that was hampered. I got a haircut on my investment, and essentially a lot of agencies like the banks and all of those things will take impairments, which inevitably affects us.